Starts.
You're recording now, yes.
No, I'm not.
If you're confused,
how do I know it's working?
So click on the OBS icon down there in the bottom left-hand corner. Right next to left side, next to StarCraft. There you go. See, you're recording. You're live.
Oh, and they can. Oh, that's so cool. You can leave this part in if you want. Okay. Oh god, I'm so embarrassed. Andy, don't watch me. I'm ashamed. I'm serious, get out.
Crazy Cat Gaming.
Hello everybody, so this is Deko, and I tried to start a recording already, but obviously I failed epically. But you know what? It turned out to be a really good thing, because now my voice is all warmed up and I don't sound like a pleb. So basically I decided to do a tutorial for Stonehearth because I noticed that I was looking around on YouTube and there weren't a lot of good tutorials. So I'm going to start off by explaining the types of villagers you can get. Raya's children are desert people, and they start off, you don't have to start off in the desert with them, but normally they would start off in the desert. And they can't do any woodworking in the beginning. So if you do not live in the desert, it's really inconvenient because clay is kind of a hard resource to find, and that's what they used to build with. The Ascendancy, I haven't played with them yet, but I have watched other people play with them, and they start off being able to use wood and everything, which is great because trees are plentiful. Now, I usually play on Raya's children because I enjoy the hard aspect of it, but I'm going to do the Ascendancy for tutorial's sake because I feel like it'll go by a lot faster. This is the story of a brave band of settlers from the Ascendancy and a prosperous and industrious kingdom seeking new lands and adventure they set off to, and we're going to start off in the temperate forests because I'm not going to start off in the desert. I actually did a game in the desert, and it's just a real big pain in my butt right now. Darkmoor Forest, a location that is sure to be. We're going to do normal difficulty. Sure to be an inspiring place to start anew, so we're going to go ahead and hit begin. Okay, so one of the things we want to look out for first of all is because we are going to need a town guard immediately. Because you don't have a town guard, you stupid. So what you want to look for in a town guard is a high body and a high spirit. Now, the body goes between 1 and 6. And I generally prefer my town guards to have between 5 and 6 body. Spirit is not as important, but high spirit is preferred. If they have a low spirit, they'll just be more likely to run away from attackers, and this is the spirit icon, just so you guys know. I'm gonna hold the mouse over it long enough so that you can see. I'm not really happy with any of the stats these guys have, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll new citizens. Ooh, 5 is looking good, and he actually has some promising stats. So then the second thing you want to look for in stats is you want to find somebody with high mind and high spirit. The body is not as important, but you want them to have a somewhat high body. So generally I tend to look for between 5 and 6 mind and 4 and 6 spirit. And this is going to be for the herbalist, because you want the herbalist to have kind of a high spirit as well, because they're going to end up being your magic users when you promote them to clerics. And clerics are, obvious by the name, going to be the people that are gonna end up like healing your town guards and your people who get sick or injured or whatever happens in this game, because crazy stuff does happen. I don't really see stats for an herbalist that I'm pleased with, so I'm going to roll again. And I'm going to keep rolling because I generally like to start off with at least a good town guard and a good herbalist. Everybody else is kind of, I don't really care about them. So, I'm gonna go ahead and she's got a good body, not a very great spirit. But once again, I said spirit's not terribly important. And I'm just not having good selection luck today. I'm very agitated with that. I'm gonna go ahead and roll one more time and hope for the best. Hope for the best, get the worst, yeah! Oh, actually, we're doing really good. 5 mind and 5 spirit, and then 6 body and 4 spirit. That's great. That's great. And then this guy right here is going to make a great crafter because he's super smart. And we love smart people for crafters. So another thing I'm going to explain is there is another class of people that you want to look out for. You want to look out for people who are going to be your crafters. So you want your crafters to generally have a high mind. Spirit and body don't necessarily matter. And then the next thing you want to look for is high spirit. For farmers and, well, not necessarily just farmers, but shepherds, and other classes of workers that you're going to get eventually as you play the game. But basically, I'm gonna just like hover my mouse over all of this, and you can pause if you need to, and kind of get an idea of what every stat is gonna be for. So these guys are looking pretty promising, a lot more promising than my last batch of people. One of the first things you want to make sure of is you want to make sure you have plenty of food. Food is very important. You will run out of it and then you'll feel like a dummy for not having food. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the trapper's knife and the wooden sword. Trapper's knife? Oh crap, that's one. I guess I can't start off with that. Derp! And the farmer's hoe. And I'm going to go ahead and start off with those two things because the wooden sword is what you need to promote a town guard, and the farmer's hoe is obviously what you need to promote a town, or a farmer, rather. There's a bunch of other things, but we'll get into that, and we're going to go ahead and embark and load our map. So, when I first started playing this, somebody told me that you want to be in an area with a lot of wildlife and a lot of trees. Well, I realized that while it's nice to have a lot of trees, it can get very inconvenient to not be near somewhere where there is also a lot of ore. So, while I want to be near somewhere with lots of animals, I also want to be near somewhere with lots of ore. So this looks like a good spot because it's like a perfect little clearing in the trees and it's between two mountains. So I'm going to go ahead and start my town here. And then I'm going to generate the world. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. If it does, we'll just cut it out. I'm going to have to cut out a whole bunch anyway, and Andy's going to be like, "How did you screw up so terribly?" Well, you know me. You guys don't know me, but Andy does. So I'm going to go ahead and start off in a corner. I know that sounds weird. Why would you start off in a corner? You'll see why as the game progresses. So, Fair Gold Spring. I'm going to go ahead and rename this to Deko's World. And I know that seems kind of like self-absorbed. People are like, "Oh, why would you name your town that? Blah, blah, blah." Because I am exactly the self-centered bitch you think I am. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a designated zone. And we are going to place our stockpile right here, and we're going to make it kind of large. And this is the info about our stockpile. It can hold up to 360 items, which is fantabulous! So, I'm going to go ahead and hit check for now, because that's going to be important. And then the next thing we want to do is we want to promote our farmer. Like I said, farmers don't really matter, so they can have really bad stats and we don't care. Probably gonna have that guy be a trapper. I actually don't really know what I want to do with him because he's kind of dumb. We'll figure it out. I was looking at this guy because he's got 3s, this pretty average stats. We're gonna go ahead and make him the farmer. And then one of the very first things we want to do, which is the mistake I made in the last game, I didn't make my farms right away, and that's not good because you will run out of food really quickly, and it will be very unfortunate because you'll be like, oh wow, I just made this town and now everybody's dead. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and make a couple of plots. And then I'm gonna have turnips, and I guess it's all gonna be turnips. Oh, wait, oh, there we go, it's letting me choose. So we want carrots, and then for this one, that's turnips, and for this one, wait, let's exit out of that. And for this one, it's turnips. Yeah, I was gonna make it all turnips. Oh, that would have been real smooth of me, guys. Oh, wow. So we actually started in a good location. A grizzled traveler approaches. Welcome to the area, Embarkies. Here's a gift to get you started. 1 basket of turnips, 1 basket of corn, and 2 rabbit jerky. Where was this guy in my last game? What the hell? So, yeah, there's that guy. He probably didn't show up in my last game because he was like, you're stupid. Alright, so those are the 2 most important things you want to start off with. You want to make sure you have a place to put your stuff, and you want to make sure you have all your food in order. Second of all, you want to go down to this little tool area with the pickaxe and the axe, the normal axe, and you want to hit gather. And you want to gather up everything. You want to gather up wood, you want to gather up flowers, everything. Everything. Literally everything. You want to gather it. All of the things. Oh god. You, like, blasphemed, like, 20 times. I know, Mom, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. It's just, you know, it's the normal way I talk. Like a teenager who's an idiot. And teenagers, please don't take this personally. You don't know it yet. I was stupid as a teenager, and I fully confessed to my actions. Alright, so the reason I got excited earlier, and I should start this off, is I got excited earlier because we're actually right next to an abundant source of frostsnap flowers, which in my last game were really hard for me to get. I know I'm kind of moving all over the place because I'm already used to what I'm doing. So another thing that I want you guys to keep an eye out for while I'm going through my tutorial is you really want to look out for metal. And right now we happen to be right next to an iron vein, which is so nice. This is the first game I've had that happen in. I usually get incredibly unlucky. Iron is not immediately important in the beginning of the game. What actually ends up being more important is the lower tier stuff. Like, how do I put this? What usually ends up being more important is the lower tier metals like copper, tin, things like that. Oh god. I wonder if they'll automatically cut that down. So you want to work on getting the lower tier metals first. Being near iron is just convenient for near in-game. So what we want to do is we want to start mining. And you can mine block, which I'm going to go ahead and show you what that does real quick. So mine block is basically, they mine the top layer of the soil, which is super great, because I like to put my towns in little indented areas, because it just feels right to me. That's what feels right. That's what makes my heart sing, is putting these things in little indented areas. So that's the first thing you really want to do, and I'm breaking all of Andy's things. Whoops, I'm such a great friend, guys. So that's the first thing. Those are the first couple of things you want to do. You really want to mine. You want to focus on gathering materials. That's important. I can't even start building until I have all of the materials I need. Because otherwise, no, it doesn't happen. Life is not good when I don't have the materials I need. And it actually looks like I started near another metal too. That's a juniper tree. I don't know if that is actually a metal. Sometimes these trees kind of like phase through the walls and make them look different colors, but they're not actually anything special. I'm gonna go ahead and harvest up as much wood as I can because I do eventually want to turn this into a building tutorial, which is going to be very good for you guys because there is not a lot of good building tutorials. But every builder needs to start off with the materials to build. And I really hope that Andy doesn't hate me for how long I'm going to make this video. So we're gonna start off by mining the side of this cliff and getting the copper, and they'll do that as soon as they mine down here. And hopefully they get some clay out of that because clay is awesome. Another thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and promote our town guard, which is also very important. I believe Sled was the one that I wanted. He's got a nice body, guys. Such a nice body. So I'm going to go ahead and hit change jobs, and I'm going to make him our footman, which is handy dandy amazing pacing. And then I'm also gonna go ahead and make our carpenter because we have enough wood. So like I said, one of the things you want to look for in your crafters is high mind. Not necessarily high anything else, because crafters, they're just crafting. They're not here to be the strong man. They're not here to gather animals. They're here to craft. That's what they're there for. So we're gonna look around, and I already see several candidates. I think I'm gonna save him for later because there's actually a crafter that I think needs to have higher mind than normal. So I'm just gonna kind of look at what I have to work with, and then I'm probably gonna pick my original choice. As I'm hissing in you guys' ear and you're like, what are you, a snake? Well, yeah, kind of. I am in the reptile family. You guys are like, oh god, she's one of those crazy otherkin. Maybe. I'm not gonna tell you that much about my personal life yet. I'm a woman. I can't make up my mind. I'm sorry. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and choose this person to be my crafter. So go ahead and approve. And you guys can hear a bunch of sounds that I can't hear because I don't have headphones on. I am actually just using the mic, which can end up being very detrimental to me, especially if I start getting attacked. But don't worry, there's a lot of pop-ups to let me know how badly I'm screwing up my life. So yeah, they're mining, and somebody is already taking stuff down, which is pretty nice. So we're actually getting our shit together quite nicely. I can actually, now that I have all my shit together, start moving on to almost the building tutorial. Almost. But we're going to start off with my carpenter because one of the things that a carpenter needs is a carpenter's workbench. Because if he doesn't have a workbench, he can't do nothing. Except suck horribly. I mean, he can do stuff. Okay, guys. I'm an exaggerator. He can make log piles. Oh wait, no, he can't even make that. It requires a carpenter's workbench. So yeah, he can't do crap without a workbench. So we are gonna go ahead and first thing you want to do is hit build and design, and then you want to hit the chair icon, and as you can see, that's where my carpenter's workbench is. I kind of want to put him close to this stuff because That way he doesn't have to run very far to get a hold of his crap, because that gets very frustrating waiting on them to do that. Eventually I will build chests and put them closer to where everything needs to be. But for right now, I'm just gonna wait for them to place that workbench. And of course they're taking their sweet time. So I'm gonna go ahead and start working with my carpenter. So one of the first things I'm gonna have my carpenter do is a whole lot of nothing. Like, this is really just useless, miscellaneous crap that I'm having him do to get him to level up. And the reason I want to get my carpenter to level up is, I'm sure you can tell by now, that there are different colors around different things. Yellow means yes, I can do that. Gray means no, I am not high enough level for that yet. I want to eventually get to where I can make the wooden practice sword, the weaver's spindle, the mason's hammer, the shepherd's crook. All that fun stuff requires a high level crafter, carpenter crafter, yeah. Farmers especially and herbalists especially are super important. So yeah, we want to get this guy leveled. So we're just gonna make a bunch of random crap. It's not really important. I don't need it. I'm probably gonna end up selling it off. I'm gonna make some beds. Now, what I will tell you is starting off with these guys is really nice, because when you start off with the desert people, they start off with a clay bed instead of a mean bed, and you actually need a mean bed to start to make a comfy bed, which we'll come to in the future. Ooh, wooden dressers. Storing personal possessions. I'm gonna make some of these. They're not really useful or anything, but they'll get my carpenter leveled up. So I think my carpenter leveled a little bit, and he can, as you can see, he can already make some things. Well, I have to get the materials for it, obviously, but he can already make a couple of things. I'm gonna go ahead and get him set up, hopefully set up on making the weaver's spindle as soon as I find the flowers that I need. I don't what a barren wasteland I've set myself in. That's the trade-off though. But fortunately flowers are a lot easier to carry than most other things. The reason it takes so long for them to carry the stone back and forth is my theory is they can't carry as much of it, which, you know, makes sense according to real life. So it's not that off or weird. But I think I might much rather have stone than flowers. I know, I'm kind of going all over the place and you guys are like, oh my goodness, I'm getting dizzy. Sorry, not sorry. This is what happens when you're a super gamer. You're just like, I can go all over the place. Haha. Look at me. And I truly hope that this noise is not bothering you. Alright, so daily updates. Daily updates are how you get new people. I obviously suck shit right now, so I'm not getting anybody. But maybe tomorrow. So I'm gonna go back here. One of the things I've noticed that a lot of people don't know how to build is roads. So we're gonna start off with a road tutorial. And it doesn't really look like I have a lot of stone in my inventory yet. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and make my inventory, or my road, out of wood, rather. English is not with me today. I'm gonna go ahead and make a nice white ash road. That probably sounded like something different to you guys. But I'm gonna start off with just a road in the center of town. And that's all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do that road right there. Yes, start building my minions. And I'm really happy with myself, because I feel like this playthrough is going a lot better. I've gotten older and wiser and when Andy sees how much I screwed up, he'll be like, you're a derp, aren't you? And I'll be like, yeah, I'm a derp, I'm sorry. Still love you though. The only thing that's really weird to me is like, it seems like his processor is too fast for this game, so when I like move around, it's like, whoa! Okay, I'm gonna stop doing that before I make all of you sick. Alright, so the next thing that we want to work on in our building tutorial, I know you guys can't see it, but I'm making finger bunnies. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to go over here to build and design, and then you're going to do design building. I like to do design building because when you click on place a building, it's very, like, it's vague. It's not really anything special, and I want my stuff to be special. So we're going to do custom. Because custom is the bestum. Yeah, I just made that joke. I'm lame. Alright, so, first of all, we are going to start off with our foundation. I want my foundation to have a little bit of texture and some love in it. So that's how we're going to roll. I'm going to go ahead and build this building off of the actual foundation I made. I like to have like sorts of like interesting doorways and such things like that. I'm kind of going through a hard time in my life, so it's nice to just, you know, have a game that like takes my mind off things. Which I really would recommend this game for. I mean, it does have some bad reviews. The next thing you're going to want to start off with is, if you did notice, I did click on the walls. I'm going to start off with one-story buildings because I'm still kind of iffy about two-story buildings, and if you don't build them right, they break the game. So we will do a two-story building tutorial later, but for right now I'm going to do a one-story building. I want my outside of my house to look like this, and then you can choose the type of columns. I like to have really dark columns. Dark. Like my soul. Like you guys haven't heard that joke before. And then you just place your walls, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful in all sorts of ways. I don't know if that doorway is going to work out, though. We'll see. We'll see how I feel about it later on. And I'm going to make weird noises, because that's just who I am, okay? Yeah, I think we're going to alter that a little bit. Make it a little bit longer. So that I can actually fit a door on there and not screw it up. And that's another thing I really hate about this game. You really kind of, like, there's not really a way to, like, there's no takebacks, which is really unfortunate. Alright, so we're gonna remake our doorways, and then we're gonna redo our walls, because I'm a derp. That was totally my bad. Alright, so I have the settings I want, and I'm gonna place my walls down. And then I'm going to start working on my roof. And I know this seems heavily out of order, maybe to some of you, maybe if you have OCD, I don't know. Do you have OCD? Answer my question in the comments, haha. And then I'm going to go ahead and place my roof. Now, there is a bunch of different things you can do with your roofs. I like to make mine look like that, but it is not necessary. You can also have them look like that. It really is just, it's about personal preference. Do what makes you happy. You can choose how tall you want your roof to be, how short you want it to be. I think that looks really gorgeous. So I'm going to have my roof look like that. And then my roof offset is going to be not that. I think that's what I made -1 last time. I like to make my roof offset -1 because you'll find out when I start placing the windows. Oh, that looks pretty fancy. Let's see how that looks. I've never made a house like this before. I don't think I'm in love with it, so I'm gonna keep that kind of roof. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna work on our doors. Now, we don't have a huge selection of doors, but I feel like in terms of who gets the best doors. These forest people definitely get the best doors. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a reinforced wooden door, maybe? Actually, no, I already have wooden doors, so I'll just go ahead and place those. Because that's how I roll. I don't know why it's not letting me place it there. Probably because I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. And then I'm gonna place a door in here. And then I really hope I'm not setting off any of y'all's OCD, because that's life. OCD. And I'm gonna go ahead and place a window, and a window, and a window. Alrighty, so I really feel happy with the amount of windows. I'm gonna go back to the roof and mess with it a little bit more, because I'm still not completely happy with it. You know what this roof needs? It needs more cowbell. I bet you guys didn't see that coming. No, you probably did, because I'm a scrub lord. Alright, so next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to figure out what kind of beds we want, or where we want our beds rather, because this is where everybody is going to sleep to start off with. And I'm sorry, I'm so blind I cannot see where the arrow for this is, and you guys are probably like, haha, she's so derp. Can't see arrows. I have very bad eyesight. I'm sure some of you can relate to my sorrows. You don't really need this many beds, like that's kind of a lot of beds. Because they don't even really end up sleeping at the same time anyway. So you don't really need that many beds. I just do it because, I don't know, I have like mild OCD. Just mild, I swear. And then, now that we have our bed set up, I'm gonna go ahead, and I just realized I put a bed right in front of the door because I'm an idiot. You idiot. And I'm going to redeem myself by putting a bed over here. And then I'm going to raise the walls to make sure that no more derping occurs. Well, that person who has that little nook right there is gonna be very happy. Oh, daily update. Hello, daily update. Alright, so I am finished editing. I'm done. And that is basically my inn. Yes, start building. That's basically my inn. That's my custom building. That's what I want out of life. And I still don't have enough for another villager. But that's okay. All I wanted to do was show you guys how to build some stuff. And hopefully you learned anything. If you guys are interested in this game, if you decide that this is what you want out of life, and you want to buy this game, it is $25 on Steam, or like about $25. It's $24.99, like 1 cent off. Probably plus tax, maybe. I don't really 100% know how Steam works. I will get into more advanced buildings later. I didn't really feel comfortable doing super highly advanced buildings. We're just gonna start off with the basics because, like I said, there's not really a lot of good tutorials out. There's not even really a good tutorial on how to make like 2-story houses. And I feel really bad for saying that because I can tell that some of the YouTubers did try, but they don't really talk to you in a way that makes sense. Well, at least for me that was the case. Maybe it's different for you. Hopefully this was helpful. I would really love your feedback, and I feel terrible for being like, give me your feedback. But I am genuinely curious, and for Crazy's sake, I'm curious on whether you guys want me to make more videos, because I can do that, and I can make videos when he's not here. So that'll be pretty nice for you. And also, I love this lovely background we have going on where you can watch the guys building. I'm probably going to leave this up and just fast forward through it so you guys can see how the building process works out. And that's how life is gonna go for that particular thing.
One eternity later.
Oh my god! So, brief pause from the super fast forward. We're getting a new villager! And then we just hit accept, and it says, Kayla Priston has joined Deko's world. Oh, there they are. There we go. So that's our new guy. Let's learn a little bit about him. Show character sheet. Ooh. Looking good, Caleb, looking good. So glad that you came to join us. Alright, so I'm gonna go back to my fast forward now. Oh, shoot. Okay, so another pause from our little fast forward. Invaders approaching! This is still fast forwarding to you. By the way, I made that possible by hitting this little fast forward button down here in the bottom right. But yeah, so you guys get to see our town guard in action. It's a lot more badass fast forwarded. Actually, when it goes slow in normal mode, it's really slow. They're not moving at normal speed, so fast speed makes everything exciting. And now he's speeding up again. And this, you see how his heart level has kind of gone down. This is why it's so important to have a herbalist early on. But he'll be okay because he has a nice bed to sleep in. Life's going okay for him right now. He's not in any danger. And everybody seems to have plenty of food, which is good. It's a good thing. Food is good. Let's check on the progress of our house, and it looks like, wow, it is done. So yeah, that is how you build a house in Stonehearth. I think I might have called it Hearthstone on accident earlier. Two completely different games. I'm such a goof. But yeah, so that's how you build a house. And I did a little short road tutorial. That's the only way I know how to build a road. So if you guys figure out another way to build a road, please let me know. I think it would be awesome to like show that in another video where I've learned and become a different person. But yeah, so this is my house. This is my first YouTube tutorial. Yay me! My daughter would be happy for me. I don't know how happy you guys are for me. She'd be like, you did it, Mom! She's my cheerleader. But yeah. So this is my first tutorial. I'm really excited to be sharing it with you guys. I hope you guys think the house looks nice. I know I have like a little bit of a crazy cluttered taste compared to most people. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys sat through this entire thing. Hopefully it wasn't boring. I'm so sorry if it was. I'll try to be less boring next time if there is a next time. And I love you guys, and mwah, I'm a lot nicer than Crazy. And I will talk to you guys later, and possibly do another tutorial later if you guys decide you like me. So goodbye.